I've been thinking about Rumpelstiltskin. This story is wrong in so many ways you could just spit. First off, there isn't no one in the whole shebang who's worth a pin, except Rumpelstiltskin. And he gets a raw deal on this one, seriously. First, you have the Looney Tune father who has the genius idea of pawning off his daughter to a rich guy with a questionable story about, her abilities? Look, he's not the first person to pretend he has something in the bank, when in fact he hasn't got squat, but his own daughter. Maybe he thought he was doing her a favor, but what a jerk. And then there was the king. Why is a king messing around with straw? Doesn't he have a treasure chest and crowns? And if he was a poor king, first, is there such a thing? And second, what good would it do the poor farmer and his daughter? A poor farmer tries to marry off his daughter to a king who has to root around a barn for spending cash? Bunch of idiots. Then there's the daughter. Well, maybe she was a goody two-shoes and couldn't disobey her father. Maybe she was scared of him. Who am I to say? But if she was in cahoots, she should be ashamed of herself. Going along with that straw into gold story, how did she think it was going to turn out? Okay, everyone says Rumpelstiltskin is the no-good. That's missing the point completely. Why not blame the Palooka father, the Jamokova king, or the daughter? Because if she's not a doormat or clueless, she's willing to promise her own baby. And as effed up as that promise is, she then tries to wiggle out of it. And Rumpelstiltskin gets the bad rap? There's no justice. Sure, he asks for the firstborn, but there's only one way it makes sense. He never thought the girl would say yes. How do I know that? Because how does she eventually find out his name? He tells her. That's how. He feels bad that she's going to have to give up her baby, even though she asked for it. So he goes around the woods yelling his name, so of course she hears it, and doesn't have to give him the baby after all. He saves her hash twice. And how does it get repaid? Queenie has her PR department, which she now can afford because it turns out the king had money after all, so he never made her spin straw again, which is suspicious, but who knows. So they badmouth Rumpelstiltskin to say he disappeared in smoke or flew into bits in a rage. That didn't happen, you know. My people tell me he left the neighborhood for Florida, where he lives in one of those developments for active seniors, and no one knows his past. His neighbors think he's a heck of a guy. So, I hope if you ever decide to tell this story to your kids, which I highly do not recommend because it's a crazy story, tell them right. Tell it straight. Do them a favor. Thanks.